Today I am doing a book unhaul because I have a lot of books and there are a few that I read and didn't love and don't really care about keeping, mostly ones that are the first in the series that I know I'm not going to continue with. Also there's some that I tried to read and couldn't get through, and there's also some that I bought a while ago and don't feel like reading anymore. The first book that I have is Carrie by Stephen King. I got about halfway through this teeny little book and didn't even want to keep going with it. There wasn't really anything wrong with the book. I definitely understand why people enjoyed it. I just didn't like that it had a lot of newspaper articles in it. That's not something that I wanted to read about. I want to read a story. I don't want to read an article, and I don't want to read something that sounds like it's from the newspaper. So I did not like this one, and I don't really care about keeping it because I didn't finish it. Next one is My Name is Memory by Anne Brashares. I got this because I thought it sounded like an interesting concept. It's about someone who remembers all of his past lives, and he always comes across the same girl, but she obviously never remembers him in her lives, and it's about him trying to remember her, or get her to remember him. And I tried reading it twice, and I wasn't super into it. And I just don't really feel like reading it anymore, which makes me sad, because it's got a pretty cover, and it seems like an interesting story. I just wasn't really the one for me, I guess. The next one is The Farm by Emily McKay. Yep. I enjoyed this book. I thought it was decent. I just didn't love it. And I know there's a second one that I'm not going to read, and I feel like just seeing the single book on my shelf, knowing that it's not going to get its companion to go with it, makes me a little sad. So I thought I'd give this away to maybe someone who will enjoy it and will get the second one to go with it. Room by Emma Donoghue. I couldn't get past like page 30 in this. I just couldn't get into the writing. I did not like that it was told from a 5-year-old, and not even like a smart 5-year-old, a very extremely sheltered 5-year-old, obviously, because he just lives in one room. And it really irritated me. And also, I wasn't looking forward to the subject matter as well. But yeah, so maybe someone else will get more out of this than me. End of Days by Eric Walters. I feel bad about this one because my mom got me this for my birthday one year. I always feel so bad giving away books that were gifts. It's a thoughtful gift. Books are so thoughtful, especially when they actually really think that you'll enjoy it, and it makes me feel really bad. But I read about half of this book and I thought it was kind of boring. I didn't really think anything interesting was happening, and I didn't want to finish it. And I told my mom that, and I told her that I felt bad, and she was like, don't feel bad, don't finish it. If you don't like it, it's not a big deal. But yeah. Abandoned by Meg Cabot. This is another one. Actually, I didn't like this one that much. I had a lot of problems with the story, and it took me a really, really long time to get through this one. I had a lot of trouble sitting down and reading it, or telling myself to stop what I was doing and read this book instead, and I read this while I was waiting for things, like if I was waiting for my meal to cook, or if I was waiting for someone to pick me up to go somewhere. So it took me quite a while to get through this. There is a second one. I'm not gonna read it. It has a pretty cover, again, which is sad, but again, maybe someone else will like it more. Embrace by Jessica Shervington. I enjoyed this book as well. I had a few problems with it. I hated the main character, but overall it was a pretty enjoyable book. But again, it's a part of a series, and I'm not going to continue with the series, and I don't want to have just the first one on my shelf and that's it. So, some of you might hate me for this one. The Diviners by Libba Bray. I hated this book. Oh look, I still have the bookmark. I got to page 241, so almost halfway through. And I almost threw it at the wall. I hated this book. Oh my god, I want it out of my sight. Also, the cover is awful. The Glass Castle by Jeanette Walls. I just bought this purely on recommendation, which makes me feel a little bad, but there were actually 3 books recommended to me by the same person, and I read one of them and absolutely loved it. And this one, I'm just not, I don't want to read it anymore. At the time I was kind of interested, but I'm not gonna read it. I've had this for so long and it's not gonna happen, so I'm sorry. Mind Games by Kirsten White. I also bought this purely on someone's book review. I didn't read the back, I didn't read the first page. I just saw it and was like, oh, I saw this in a book review and this person loved it, so I'm gonna get it. And it was well written. I actually really liked the writing style. which confuses me a little bit because I couldn't get into the story, even though I thought it was well written. Really weird, and it's short, so you'd think I would just give it another go, but I don't wanna. The Chaos of Stars by Kirsten White. Also, here's another beautiful cover. And again, I bought this purely based off of someone's video review. I didn't read the inside, I didn't read the back. And I picked it up twice trying to read it, and again, well written. I couldn't get into it. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But it would make me happy if someone else got this and enjoyed it instead of me not getting out of it what is meant to get out of it. You're supposed to read it and enjoy it, and it's just a shame for it not to fulfill its book destiny. Okay, they're meant to be read. These are all the books that I am giving away / donating / selling in hopes that they find a better home than they will have here.